Hello and welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to share with all of you, the subscribers and the watchers of this YouTube channel, my Burzum collection in vinyl format, fully complete. So at this time we complete the discography of Burzum of their studio albums in vinyl format. So let's find out what I have in my hands. So this is the debut album from Burzum. I already made a video talking about this album, doing the unboxing and some kind of a point of view about the debut album from Burzum, who was released on the year of 1992. This album in the back have a really cool picture of Varbikernes, call it the Count Noreshniak, and the track list on the other side. This album have a really nice black and white cover. The second studio album, it's called Dat Son Engan Varg. This album was released of the year of 1993. This album have a particular cover in black and white too. At the back we have the track list of these fantastic and the earliest albums from Burzum. The third album from the studio is called Ibis Lisset Tar Os. This is a picture disc edition on vinyl format from the third studio album from Burzum. At the back of the vinyl we have a really cool draw of the fjords and some landscape during this rural Norwegian from the notorious painter Theodor Kittelsen, born and raised in Norway, one of the most talented artists from Norway. So this is a series of draws called Black Death. This is a really fantastic and aggressive album of black metal. This album was released in 1994, as you probably remember. The next album is the first album that have a cover with color, and I am talking about the one and only, the fantastic Philosophen. This album is in a vinyl format with a picture disc version, is 2 discs, and on the back we have of course the track list of this album. Let's remember that Philosophen was released in 1996, and this is where start the new era of Burzum with the next albums. So this is the first album that Varg released in prison. It's called Daudi Bart. As you probably remember, this was the first album that Varg produced and recorded during his jail time in the year of 1997. At the back we have the track list, very simple, on this vinyl version. The next album released by Varbikernes during his time in prison was this Hillescarf. It was released in 1999, and he have a really beautiful picture or drawing, imagine, on the cover of this forest. Maybe a mystery forest, so far forest in the middle of nowhere with this big stone on the cover. This album was released in 1999, and it was his second and final album produced during his jail time. At the back we have a rune, image of the runes. Also we have the track list of this really cool and fantastic studio album. The next album, this was the first album that Varg produced after his release from the jail. It's called Belus. Belus was released in the year of 2010 year. So it was a long time ago, but it's one of the first albums that Varg returns to the roots of the black metal. Maybe he took some inspiration from the previous earliest albums. In the back, of course, we have the track list, and this is a picture disc version of this studio album. Let's remember that this album was released after Var Vikernes, go out from the prison. This is the second album that Varg released in a studio after his jail time. This called Fallen. Fallen was released on the year of 2011 year. So it was a long time too. And at the back they have a fantastic track list. Another cool album with pieces of black metal from the earliest albums. Let's remember that he have another album, the third album after his time in prison, that I'm going to show you next on this fantastic vinyl format. The album that I am talking about is this called Kimstar. Kimstar was released on the 2012 year. This was the third album that Varg releases after his jail time. On the back of the album we have, of course, the track list, and in the information sticker on the top they say that it's a limited edition colored vinyl version. So this is maybe for most of the Burzum fans around the world the last and the final black metal album created by Burzum and his musician Var Vikernes, because after this album Varg takes another path on the music of his process of evolution and start to do maybe some more instrumental albums. The next album that he released was this cool artwork and really quiet album called Sol Austan Manifestant. This album was released in the 2013 year, so it's almost 12 years ago that this album was released. Sol Austan Manifestant have on the back the track list of this album, and have a really nice cover on this maybe these horses going down on the hill. It's really a nice artwork, but from my point of view is my less favorite album from Burzum. Have some cool tracks, maybe some good melodies, but it's not my favorite. But of course we need to have and add this album into our vinyl collection. The next album was called The Ways of Jor. This album was released on the 2014 year, so it was almost like 11 years ago. The Ways of Jor, it's a really nice album. Obviously it's an instrumental album like Sol Austin Manifestant, but in this album of course have many great songs, and on the back we can see that it's included the track list. I really like the artwork of this vinyl format from this album called The Ways of Jor. It's a good album created by Burzum, and this is the final studio album released until this time from Var Vikernes. It's called Tulean Mysteries. This album was released during the pandemic time, during the corona situation. This was released on the 2020 year. At the back of the album we have, of course, the information of the track list with a very particular description that I want to share with all of you. Tulean Mysteries was originally made to be suitable background music for those who play Mifarok, mythic fantasy role play game. So let's remember that Bard released this role play game called Mifarok in a book version that I still now have into my collection. This album has a very particular and very emotive memories when I listen it, because this album reminds me my adventure in France and all these amazing memories that I have when I had the opportunity to meet Far Vikernes on the July 15 of the 2019 year. So it was almost 6 years ago that I meet Bar Vikernes in France. So this album, when I put and listen some music, some songs from this album, of course, reminds me and give me some beautiful memories that I will never forget. So at this time, this is the final studio album on physical format, no? It was officially released on the market from Burzum. So at this moment in the 2025 year, this is their latest studio album from Burzum. We are not talking about digital stuff or something like that. We are talking only about physical releases. So this is the last album from Burzum. I want to add a couple of items during this video about this vinyl collection, and of course we can't miss the vinyl edition of the classic and notorious mini album or EP called Aske. Let's remember that have a really nice artwork on the cover, and is a photo of the remains of the Fantov church that it was burned down in the city of Bergen in Norway. And in the back we have, of course, the track list of the 3 songs, the information of the recording and production of this album, with the typical slogan: no chord, no mosh, no fun, no trends. So this is the picture of the Anton Sandor LaVey, the Black Papa from the United States of America. Aske, a really classic, but I don't include it into the full discography, because of course this is a mini EP, but it was not a full-length album. So this is like an extra into the discography of Burzum. And the famous and one of the most wishable album from all of the fans around the world. This is the Back on Black edition of the Philosophen album, released in 1996, and this is the album that I take on this vinyl format that Bar Vikernes signed to me, as you can see on the top of the vinyl version, to David Bar Vikernes. So this album was fully autographed to me. So this is like the treasure of this Burzum collection. Thank you very much to all the people who stay at the end of this video. Don't forget to leave the thumbs up, subscribe to this channel to create a very big community to spread the word about the Burzum. Let me know in the comments down below which is your favorite Burzum album. Also, let me know which is your non-favorite Burzum album too. I will read your comments, of course. Thank you very much for all the support that you gave me during these years with this little YouTube channel, and I will see you on the next video.